Well, you're watching Outnumbered, and we are glad that you are. A focus group of Iowa Democrats is telling us what they think of Hillary Clinton, but perhaps not in the way the Clinton campaign would like. Things began, well, pretty good, when the group members could not hold back their enthusiasm for the Democratic frontrunner. Watch.
She's a bad mamma jamma.
Sure.
Yeah. She's a strong, confident woman. She knows what she's doing. She's not afraid to step up.
She's a better woman than I am. She survived the Monica Lewinsky scandal, among many other things.
She's eminently qualified to run this country, and I think she'd probably do a pretty good job.
Wow, mamma jamma, I don't think we've heard that since 1972. Anyway,
your age there.
Then it took kind of a sharp turn, and you could hear the pin drop when they were asked to name one of Hillary's achievements as Secretary of State. Watch.
What did she accomplish that you consider significant as Secretary of State?
Secretary of State? I really can't name anything off the top of my head.
Wait, give me a minute. Give me 2 minutes to go someplace else.
Okay, Christina, can you think of something that she accomplished as Secretary of State that impressed you or thinks important?
No.
Not present in the room was Jen Psaki, who used to be the spokesperson for the Secretary of State in the State Department, and she also couldn't list one thing, but that's old history. So, Sandra, you know, it's interesting. They love her, but then the one guy sounded like she was Secretary of State? Like, why do they love her if it's not for the job she's done?
It was really interesting, right? So she's obviously doing something right.
What is it?
That she's reached these people that was both men and women,
Great point.
and they just like who she is. They just think she's a strong woman, and they don't even have a track record to base that on. But what I think is really interesting, and I should point out here, is Washington Post's The Fix blog was looking at this, Harris, and they pointed out that this isn't all too unusual, and you can't play this just on Hillary Clinton or the left or the Democrats. It is, as far as knowing a potential candidate's achievements, it's pretty common for the average voter really not to be able to cite a track record or accomplishments.
What were Colin Powell's track record?
Exactly. I think we're going to go to breaking news.
We are going to go to some breaking news, hopefully get back to this topic, but let's take you to Washington, D.C. right now. A quadruple murder that we've been watching inside of a mansion, and that unfolding, and the manhunt for the killer, a suspect. Let's listen in. This is D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
He is a black male, approximately 5'7" in height, weighing approximately 155 pounds. If you see Went or know anything about his whereabouts, we ask that all members of the public call 202-727-9099. You can also send any information leading to the whereabouts of Went to the MPD text line at 50411. If you see something, we're begging of you to say something, to call law enforcement. Any bit of information can lead to a breakthrough and can lead to us solving this heinous crime in the District of Columbia. Again, the Metropolitan Police Department seeks Darren Dylan Went, black male, 5'7" in height, weighing approximately 155 pounds. I'm going to ask the Chief of Police to provide more information that she can about the investigative efforts of her department and our partner agencies since we spoke on last Friday.
I'll start off by saying I know that many of you have a variety of different bits and pieces of information that has come from different sources. I just want to caution you that I know that there is a lot of inaccurate information that is getting leaked out to the media, and I caution you to be careful about what you report. I am not able to comment on any evidence related to the case at this time. I'm trying to provide as much as I possibly can to the public while still not jeopardizing this case. So I appreciate your understanding and my inability to comment at all on evidence related to this case. So I'll start off with, most of you know, we did obtain an arrest warrant for first-degree felony murder while armed in connection with the May 14th murder of Amy Savas Savopoulos, Philip Savopoulos, and Vera Figueroa. At this time, we do not have the suspect in custody. Darren Wint is a black male with dark complexion. He's approximately 5'7" in height and weighs about 155 pounds. We have information that he was last seen wearing blue jeans, a blue hooded sweatshirt, and white tennis shoes. Over the past 24 hours, the Capital Area Regional Fugitive Task Force has searched several locations in Prince George's County, Maryland, looking for Mr. Wint. Information gained from interviews and new information in the past few hours, we have information that we believe Mr. Wint is currently in the Brooklyn, New York area. The task force is continuing to search for Mr. Wint. I have been in contact with the commissioner from the NYPD. They have offered and are providing all assistance that we need in trying to locate Mr. Wint. I also want to reiterate that the support that we've received working this case with our task force partners, and particularly the ATF, the Secret Service, and even Metro Transit Police, to help us process really a very large volume of information, evidence, and leads has been tremendous, and we would not be where we are today without their support. So I want to thank them. For the residents of the district who are rightfully scared and want answers as to why and how this family may have been involved, we want to give you as many answers as we can, but what we can tell you right now is that we do believe that there is a connection between this suspect in this case through the business. So right now it does not appear that this was just a random crime, but there is a connection through the business of the suspect and the Savopoulos family business. So again, as soon as we can give you more information, we will, and I apologize for my inability to answer specific questions about evidence in the case.
Do you believe that is related to the business involved? Do you believe that there are multiple suspects involved, or do you believe that Wint is acting alone?
We have not ruled out that there are others involved, but I can't comment beyond that.
When you refer to the business, is the business the Ironworks business, or is it a martial arts center or some other?
The Ironworks business, yes.
Did Wint work for American Ironworks at one time?
We have recent information that he did work at American Ironworks at one time in the past.
Did he leave, was he fired from American Ironworks?
I don't have that information, Pat.
Do you believe that Mr. Wint is the person of interest that you asked for help on over the last weekend?
In the video that we put out? We do. Yes. We believe that he was the person that we put out in seeking the person of interest in the video released last week.
How do you believe he got to the Brooklyn area?
I can't comment on that. I don't have that information.
Is there a vehicle or any description you can provide to help people in that community that are obviously frightened now as well, that they can keep an eye out that will help your investigation?
We don't have any vehicle information associated with Mr. Wint right now. We have had different sources of information, possibly a bus, but we just don't know.
You can't speak to the DNA evidence specifically that you got and the evidence at the scene, but that requires a match to evidence you already had on this suspect. The evidence you have of his DNA in your possession already, where did that come from?
I'm not going to comment on any evidence that we have at all. I can't comment on that right now.
Can you articulate, if he's watching right now, this is broadcast across the country, you have a chance to speak to a man who's armed and dangerous, who's wanted for a brutal crime that's terrorized this community. What do you say to him?
Well, I mean, right now you have just about every law enforcement officer across the country that is aware of his open warrant and are looking for him. I think even his family has made pleas for him to turn himself in, and I would just reiterate that it's much easier if he just turns himself in.
Have you had any contact with him in any form since the murders took place?
I'm not going to comment on that. I can't comment on that this time. I'm not allowed to comment on that as well. Well, right now, again, I think we have now established that there is some specific connection between the suspect and the victims here. So this was not random. Hopefully we will have Mr. Wint in our custody very soon. But we're distributing his photograph as widely as possible, and we encourage people to call us if they believe they see him. Not to take action, but to call us, just dial 911, whatever jurisdiction you're in, and have local police respond. Well, I mean, obviously, we have a person that's wanted for horrible murders. I'm not going to say he's not a danger.
When you say he's a danger,
do you now believe that he was holding that family
against their will from Wednesday night into Thursday morning?
I can't comment on details in the case.
Is he likely carrying with him more than a knife? Is he carrying with him a gun or some other weapon that people should be aware of in case they have some interaction with him?
We've asked that if anyone sees this person to assume he may be armed and dangerous and to contact local police. Thank you.
All right, so we've been watching this news conference in Washington, D.C. A couple of things. Actually, let's start with what just came out, and that's the fact that there may have been some connection between the killer and the three family members and the housekeeper who were killed inside this mansion. Just to revisit and pop up that Savopoulos family on the screen. A 10-year-old little boy and his parents were brutally murdered, the house set on fire, and their housekeeper, who's at the bottom of the screen, was also killed. It was the brutality and the details around this killing that brought it to national attention, and now we've been following the story with reports that a pizza crust with DNA from this Darren Wint that now there's a warrant out for, is what led investigators reportedly to issue this warrant for his arrest. Apparently, while those people had been taken hostage and beaten and tortured, from reports, he ordered 2 pizzas and left some crust behind. Those are the reports as we know them. But the fact that there might have been some connection between him and the family, which just came out from the police chief there, would lead this to be less than random. Doesn't mean that it's not a danger to the public with him running around and them trying to catch him, but it looks like there was some connection. There was no detail given at the news conference, but those are all important points for you to know as we follow this breaking news story. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Outnumbered. Stay close.